You're allowed to do the things that light you up and be awesome. You do not have to sacrifice one for the other. Welcome back to another episode of the True Growth podcast. It's Letina, and today we have another episode on the Moms Overcoming Mountains series. And today we're going to do something a little bit different. So, I know you're seeing this guy here. Actually, he's not a mommy, right? So today the twist is that Jessie Mc Barrow is also a mindset coach. Jessie, I'm happy to have you here, right? He is going to interview me, right? So he's going to ask me questions. I have no clue what the questions are. And I'm going to be as honest and as vulnerable and as transparent as I can be as it pertains to what my journey has been being a mommy. So I have a daughter. She is almost 9 years old, and it's definitely been a roller coaster. So Jessie, you are free to ask away, right? I'm here.
Hi, so we've done a couple of videos already.
Yes.
And now you are in the hot seat. So to your viewers and listeners, your founder and CEO of True Growth Career is on the hot seat. So she did an incredible job with the other interviewees. And it's good now to ask you a couple of questions.
And this is also the first guy that I have on my podcast. Not so, yes, you just see your girl get through today.
Yes. I'm honored to be here.
Yeah.
I am. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's go straight into it.
Ask away.
Ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Share a time since being a mom that you consider really challenging.
Okay, so if you guys know my story, you know that my pregnancy was a challenge. So just really quickly, got pregnant. When I got pregnant, I lost my job after I just purchased a car. And the pregnancy itself was emotionally challenging, to say the least. But, and mind you guys, while I was pregnant, I did all the research, right? I felt like I was the guru of making babies, right? Except that I was not prepared for the fact that my daughter did not latch on when I made her, right? So I didn't buy bottles, I didn't get baby bottles. And I think I was gifted baby bottles in my baby shower, but nobody, like my intention was to be that breastfeeding mommy, so to bond and do all of the things. And when I had her, she did not latch on. So my first 6 weeks specifically after having her was the hardest time because I was not prepared for what that was. Like the books didn't say that, the Google things didn't say that. So that was hard. And then I think just navigating, that traumatic pregnancy, that type of traumatizing because of the emotional things that I was going through. She was not breastfeeding, so I had to deal with the challenge and the guilt of, oh my gosh, I'm not getting to breastfeed her. Am I gonna good mommy because I can't? And then I noticed something wasn't correct, and I think within the first 7 months, I learned that I have mild postpartum depression. So I think within that first 7 months of becoming a mommy was the most challenging time, and then of course I had to go back out to work, and that was really difficult. So yeah.
So the hardest part, or the most challenging part of becoming a mother was actually becoming a mother.
Ooh, that was it. Yeah, and the books did not prepare me, and nobody prepared me. But yeah, I was super.
Would you say that there was a lesson that you learned during that time?
Yeah, I think I spent so much time focused on everything outside of me. So of course the dynamic that I was in at that point in time, like wanting to get support from, in a deeper way, and just being so concerned about why can't I figure out this breastfeeding thing. The lesson I tell him was I need to be more present. Like I just needed to be present, appreciate her in the year that she was in, or the month that she's gonna just enjoy, because listen, those couple months of this year were like went by so quickly. So you guys are not telling you to be present. Like you have no control over anybody else, so stop trying to change anybody and just be present in the moment that you have and appreciate and enjoy that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good lesson. And Unfortunately, I probably will never have to go through
Well,
that. But I'm sure your listeners could agree with
oh,
your
that's
statement.
it, yeah.
So when you say becoming a mom was difficult, right? What advice you would have for somebody who's thinking of becoming a mom?
You need to be prepared to take radical responsibility for that. Like you need to be like recognize that your life is not going to be the same. Recognize that there are little humans that depend on you. They depend on you to be committing to work. They depend on you to do your healing work. They depend on you to do your emotional regulation. And it means that like you have to take radical responsibility for how things are going to shape up moving forward. And I think that is absolutely important. I know some moms or some persons, I should say, who might be struggling with, like self-love and self-worth. They may say, I just wanted to have a child so that I can feel loved. It doesn't work just like that. Like you actually have to know that you have to show up to commit to doing the work so that the relationship that you're building and the life that you're creating for this child is healthy and it's, happy and a safe environment for them.
Wow. So you are in the personal development space, Letina.
Yeah.
And you are supporting so much moms that are entrepreneurs, that are in the corporate space, and they dominating.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think they have the same pressure of their kids having to represent their mother, supporting other parents, and stuff like that. What has been your challenges being in that space?
Jessie, that's a good one.
Yes.
Honestly, I feel like because you do this work, your eyes, like my eyes are open to way more things in terms of psychology and mindsets and emotions, right? So I think anybody who's in this space, for me particularly, like seeing my daughter, I'm very I'm alert, right? I'm seeing all these people. My gosh, I need to make sure that she knows her words. We have to do this, and I want to make sure that she knows how to regulate her emotions. So it really does put me in a space of, having probably some extra pressure on her because, of course, you would want her to be a good representation. I'm saying this of course, I want her to be a good representation and product of her environment, right? And that in itself is challenging because we bring these kids here, but it's not as though we, they have their own personality, right? So far, I'm grateful that she is open to this work, but then there always be times where I'm like, what is it something wrong? Am I missing the mark? So it's a interesting space, and I always have to remind myself, relax, take the pressure off of her because she's learning just like I'm learning. Yeah.
And I love that response. So you take the pressure off of her as your daughter.
Yeah.
But what about the pressures on you?
Yeah, those pressures too, I have to learn to manage that as well, right? Because sometimes our perfectionism and we supposed to know it right gets in the way. And over the last year particularly, I'm like, hey, I'm doing the best that I could. I'm doing the best that I could with what I have. And yes, there are the moments where I'm like this season, that time when I feel as though I've been kind of MIA and I feel bad about that. But I'm like, okay, I need to stop, I need to pause, I need to, regroup and just recognize that it's a season, and she is probably, she's going to be very happy when she gets to see the fruits of this labor at some point in time. At least that's a story I tell myself, right?
Alright. So let me break the momentum a little bit here. I want to get back to some heavy questions, but I have some random questions for you, right? Doubles or bacon shack?
Bacon shack, but yes, sir, I've been having a lot of doubles because of you lately.
Oh my God. Alright. Introverted or extroverted?
Would you guess? I'm fully introverted. Yeah.
Okay. That's when you show up online.
Right.
Fully
Okay, that's a different conversation.
Alright. Pasta or mashed potatoes?
My body wants pasta, right? But it doesn't agree with me. It doesn't like I feel bloated after. But I want pasta. Yeah.
Sunrise or sunset?
Sunrise, sunrise. No, sunset. Oh,
Sunrise. Sunrise. You got that right.
Sunset, anyway.
Alright, so night out with the girls or quiet time at the beach house?
You know what? It depends. You know, it really depends. But I think the space, the time that I'm in, like I really could just do with a night at beach house.
Okay.
Night at a beach house. So I want to see sun. I want to hear the ocean, and yeah.
Okay. And so, which stage do you prefer? You know, the newborn toddler. Well, she's 8, so
Yeah, she's 8.
so which stage?
I prefer toddler. And I think that has a little bit of guilt in it. But I prefer toddler because like they are like at that age, you know, they're so curious and they have this innocence that just cannot be touched, and they just like this big ball of love. And I think for me, I did not be as present as I wanted to be. Because like I'm focusing on all other things that I was probably, I mean, I can't say I wasn't supposed to be focusing on, but if I had to go back, I mean, definitely toddler. That, you know, 2 years, I think that's a nice mommy time. It be like terrible to say, but I think that I would do too.
Right.
Yeah.
Letina, a lot of people in your platform knows your story,
Yeah.
right? And they know that you flung yourself into the deep end, right? So you had your fair share of different jobs and corporate and stuff like that, right? And then you decided you're gonna follow your heart, you're gonna follow the mission that you believe God called you to.
Yeah.
To start True Growth Caribbean, right? So you are in this, you're doing this full time, right? And of course, that will ask for a lot of sacrifices. Do you deal with mom guilt?
I do. I mean, as I said, as I mentioned earlier, like this season that I'm in, I feel as though I've been going and going and going. But it's not. I guess it's not as intense as probably somebody else's experience, and I think it is because I try to always include her since she was small. You know, like if she's telling a story about, she's called this True Growth Caribbean Sea, right? Not True Growth Caribbean, Caribbean Sea, right? She would talk about, you know, when mommy started, when she had journals, she would go and she would take you to the journals, etc. She knows about the coaching. So I think because she feels included, right, or she's aware of what is happening in business, that my mom guilt is a little more manageable because when I'm also doing work, I have already in the office with me, etc. So yes, there are seasons when I guess it's heavier than others, and then generally I feel like, you know, I manage okay. I can't say it's not there, but I definitely manage a lot.
So Letina, you have any advice for people that are dealing with mom guilt right now as you speak?
Yeah, like somebody asked me, a really wise person asked me a question sometime, and they were like, listen, if you're not doing this, right? If you're not showing up for yourself in a particular way, what would that mean? And what's the consequence of that? And my consequence was I would feel as though I'm robbing my daughter if I don't show up in a particular way, right? And so my statement in terms of, or my response to that about mom guilt is really checking like, what would be the consequence of you not showing up in terms of your goals and your dreams and aspirations as it relates to your children? You know, and for me, it was like, if I don't pursue this, if I don't do this, I will be robbing her of seeing how awesome she could be, or to show her what is possible, you know. So just really pay attention to what you're doing. And I think knowing why you're doing it is going to make a big difference to help you navigate that moment.
Right. So Letina,
Yes.
give me 2 things that Lanaya taught you over the years.
Sweet Jesus. She has, yeah. She taught me about responsibility and discipline in a big way. I think having Lanaya really, she came, although she was on planned pregnancy, I'm ever blessed too, but she came at a point in time in my life where I feel as though that if that did not happen, I would have been going on a completely different path. And she really came like, hey mom, or hey Letina, time to, you know, organize in terms of your responsibility, in terms of your discipline, in terms of your goals, in terms of your purpose. Because prior to her, I don't think I was even clear about what my purpose was or what my goals were. I just had this story like, okay, let's go to school, get a good education, go to corporate, make sure it's a corporate job, paying well, and then, life goes on, like that was the plan. But when she came, which was in the middle of me applying to pursue school further, right? Things changed. So she came and she really taught, she brought discipline and responsibility. So I put that as one lesson. And another lesson would have been how important it is for me to do mine.
Wow.
Yeah. Like that was the other lesson.
So she was your mindset coach.
Yeah, oh my god, she done this my mindset coach. And she still is everything.
Yes, she is indeed. So any myths for people who are not moms?
Yeah.
Or maybe for men that might be watching this, any myths that you want to debunk right now about moms?
I know you guys probably did this already, but I would say it again. It is, you are allowed to pursue the things that light you up and be an awesome mom. You're allowed to do the things that light you up and be awesome. You do not have to sacrifice one for the other. And I think that is, that's what I meant. It's not true. Like you want to decide, hey, this is what I want to do, this is why you're doing it, and then you put certain action plans in place that align with your values. I think it really makes doing the things that you have to do a lot easier. So I feel like that's a myth. You have to do for
One.
Okay.
But if you have another one, feel free.
Another myth. I don't know off the top of my head right now. Let me.
What about the myth that you had to give up everything when you become a mom?
Well, I guess that piggybacks on what I just said. Like, no, that's not true. One of the other myths too is that you can't, self-care is God, Right now, of course, there's a season, there's a time and place, and I feel like, especially when they're much younger and they baby stage, but I feel like there's this thing to most of the time, boundaries. Like, we have to really prioritize setting boundaries around our personal self-care and putting things in place, and yeah, like that, you get to it. May not be as lavish as it would have been in the past, but I mean, it doesn't mean that. When you come on me, you just get yourself loose and, not true. Not true.
Alright, so this series is Moms Overcoming Mountains. Right? I know you had your fair share of mountains to overcome, right?
Yeah.
I want you to give advice to somebody who is at the bottom of that mountain right now.
I want you to really focus on that little boy or that little girl that you have and just see them in their wholeness and their fullness and really appreciate how amazing they are and recognize the love that they brought into your life, recognize the growth that they forced you into, recognize that you are actually pretty awesome, doing what you can right now with the best and just making it the best in this moment, and everything else gets to be secondary, because at this point in time, you're not going to get it back. You're sincerely not going to get it back. So I know you're probably going through a hard time this season, probably feels like, why me? I'm here alone, but this is a gift. You being here, they being here with you is a gift, and let's cherish that.
Wow. That's so powerful. I'm sure somebody's about to benefit from that.
I think I wish somebody told me that while I was, I just became a mom. Like, I wish that was something somebody told me. It would have really made things a lot different. So, yeah.
Guys, I appreciate moms. Let me just say that I'm a son and I've had a mother my entire life.
Well, I'm hoping that just fall out,
So I have a little bit of insight on what that looks like, and I'm not sure how my mother would answer this question, but I was going to ask for one word, but give me 2 words to describe motherhood.
2 words to describe motherhood. Healing and transformative.
Oh, I have to call my mother and but that's the 1 words that she will describe motherhood. So thank you so much, Letina. I think I ran through all my questions, and you have ran through all of them
right
as well.
Guys, so Thank you, Jessie, for being
Yes.
such a good interviewer.
Thank you.
Right, guys? So
Yes.
this actually wraps up our podcast interview where I've interviewed and asked some questions on overcoming challenges as a mommy. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please make sure to check out Jessie Mc Barrow, who's also a mindset coach. And I will see you guys in another episode. My water happened. I can't even reach this. You can pour some water into him.
Deep breaths. Sip some water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is this good?
Yeah.
I mean, they go on.
Yeah, this is good. This is really good.
Like, thank you God again for giving me the right questions of what to ask during this interview.